What's going on, guys? It's the Filthy Casual, back with another Diablo 3 video. Now, the Season of Nightmares is nearly upon us. Season starts on Friday and I'm absolutely super excited. Really juiced for the season. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good season of theme. Now, I've played a lot of Legacy of Nightmares over the last few months. A lot of the videos on my channels have been based on them, and I've been getting quite a lot of questions about when I should play them, how it works, that kind of thing. So I thought what I'll do is I'll make a video. We'll go through the very basics of LON, so if you're a new player or returning player, we'll cover the absolute basics, and I'll show you just how powerful it is, and I'll show you how to clear, say for example T8 with a Necromancer with just one ancient item, and just show you how really easy it is. Now before we get into it, if you are new, hit that subscribe button, and come back and see me soon for more videos, and thanks for all the love lately. It really has been amazing. Really looking forward to the season starting. Okay, so Season of Nightmares, this basically revolves around the seasonal buff we're going to get, which is the Legacy of Nightmares set bonus. So normally in the game it's a set item. There are two rings, the Litany of the Undaunted and the Wailing Host. Now the bonus says that whilst it's your only set bonus active, every ancient item you have equipped increases your damage dealt by 750% and reduces your damage taken by 4%. Now you've got 13 slots on your character, so 13 times 750 is 9,750, so it's kind of almost about 10,000% increased damage. Now one of the great things about LON is it buffs everything, so it's not like you've got to do anything specific, it's just a flat damage increase across everything, so it does give you a lot of flexibility in that regard. So let's say we compare it with Inarius, which is going up to 10,000 this season and is the starting Necro set. Well, that's great, Inarius does a little bit more damage, but you've got to be within radius of your Bone Storm that goes off, so you lose flexibility there, and also you're going to lose flexibility, for running a normal set with the 6 pieces all equipped, because all your slots are going to be taken. Whereas with Legacy of Nightmares, normally the rings are taken but everything else is free, and that's kind of the trade-off. But for this season, with you getting the set bonus for free, it means that everything is up for grabs, so all 13 slots are open, and that's why you'll be able to make some really powerful Legacy of Nightmares builds. Now, a question that I get asked a lot is when can you start playing them, and really I think it kind of is like a multi-layered answer, because I think from season start it's going to be incredibly powerful straight away. As I say, I'll show you how to do T8 with the Necro in a few minutes, and it's probably not quite it doesn't quite work how you think it does, maybe. Now if you've been playing this game a lot and you understand the mechanics of the game, then this maybe isn't for you. But if you are a new player, or a returning player, maybe you just haven't thought about it too much, but the way that it kind of works is for each item you get 750% as a multiplier. Now unfortunately what happens is they don't scale together. It's not 750 times 750. So if I say put this funerary pick on, because I've only got this one ancient, my multiplier would go up to 1,500. Now let's say I decided I was going to take off this Tragul's Corroded Fang. Now because the secondary affix on here gives me 179% increased damage to cursed enemies, provided I've got a curse on my bar and I'm cursing enemies, I'm getting almost 3 times the amount of damage, because 200% multiplier would be triple damage. Now if I took off the funerary, if I swap these around, put the funerary pick on, I'm now doing 1,500 for these two, because you add the 750 together, but when I had this on, I'm doing 750 times 3 because I've got the curse on, so that would be 2,250. So even though I'm putting an extra ancient on here, my damage has now actually gone down. Now that's something to bear in mind when you're making your builds. You basically want to get one ancient item, which is going to unlock the 750 multiplier, and then you don't want to be taking off other multipliers at all. So obviously in the cube for this little build I'm going to show you in a second, I've got the Scythe of the Cycle, so again 400%. So it's much more important to get this in the cube and the Tragul on my character, or the other way around, whatever rolls better, than it is to add a second ancient, because the second ancient is only going to double my damage. Now I'll put a little graphic on screen which shows the piece the number of ancients that you have, the percentage multiplier that you're getting, and kind of how much that increases with each time. So the first one is 750%. Then it drops down to doubling your damage because you're going from 750 to 1500. Now the next jump, when you add your third ancient, you're only getting a 50% damage increase because it's got a diminishing returns effect. Because the multipliers aren't getting multiplied together, it's not 750 times 750 times 750. It's your base damage with all your other multipliers times by the Legacy of Nightmares multiplier. So basically, what I'm getting at is that by the end, you're really only eking out an extra 10% damage, 9% damage, 8% damage. So the point that I'm trying to illustrate really is that you don't need to worry damage wise too much about getting fully kitted out with ancients. Yes, it will be much better, and yes, it does, the percentage increase does compound with each level. So I'm not going to say that having one ancient item is anywhere near applicable to having 13, but all I'm getting at is that by the time you get up to say 7 ancients, you're probably doing over half your damage that you would be doing anyway, just looking at the Legacy of Nightmares multiplier. So once you've got all of your other multiplier slots filled and about 5 or 6 ancients, it's pretty easy to get going with Legacy of Nightmares. It is very, very powerful, and as I say, you do get this kind of diminishing returns effect with each time that you add one. So I wouldn't go into it expecting that once you get from 5 ancients to 6, you're going to all of a sudden be jumping 2 or 3 difficulty tiers. Now that said, this is kind of comparing if you're starting off from scratch with no items, and obviously you do have the season journey. You can get set bonuses as you go. So what I would probably look to do for any particular class is, if the 2-piece is really good, like for example Demon Hunter or the Witch Doctor, I'd be looking to get my season journey probably done straight away, and I'd be getting my 2-piece bonus and using that to kind of whiz me through the torments and difficulty settings. But something like Necro or something else that doesn't have a particularly great 2-piece like Wizard, I'd be looking to try and stick these multipliers together with the ancient item, and then you're going to use that to farm up your gear, because you will be able to jump very quickly even with just one ancient item. If you get other multipliers, it really does matter. Now one thing to note is that this bonus is only active if you have no other set items. So you can wear set items, like I've got this Krelms on and a Pestilence chest and Talrasha pants, but because I've not activated any of the bonuses, they're all greyed out at the bottom, it doesn't matter, I still get the Legacy of Nightmares bonus. If I put on another piece of Pestilence, it would turn off. So basically you can wear green ancients, it's absolutely fine. You don't need to worry too much about it. Just as long as you're not turning on another set bonus, you will be absolutely fine. So really it becomes a question of how you want to play this season, and as I say, I think the way will be to get a little sort of small Legacy of Nightmares build going with multipliers that you're familiar with that are easy to get, and then I'd be looking to maybe do the season journey again, depending on RNG, because for an Arius the 6-piece is great, but the 2 and 4-piece aren't. So it depends. It's all a question of efficiency. Do I want to spend my time going to do the season journey now, or do I want to crack on with the level that I'm at now? This is just a really simple Necro build. I'll be making an updated Necro starter guide, so I will go over that in this, but rest assured guys, all this stuff that I'm wearing is crap. The Reaper's wraps are craftable, the Circle of Nalujivol you can get at level 1, Gold wrap level 1 gettable, and then these 2 scythes, well there's only 4 in the loot pool, so they're pretty easy to get hold of by upgrading weapons in the cube. So come over here, craft a scythe, not a quiver, a scythe. I'm hungover guys, you're gonna have to forgive me, but yeah, you craft one of those, you stick it in the cube and upgrade it, and because there's only 4 possibilities, you'll get these 2 very quickly. Now there are obviously loads of ways to make this build better. Like these gloves aren't doing anything for me. I'd want Tasker and Theo. The chest piece isn't doing anything. My necklace has got dexterity on it, for example. I haven't put any gems in here. The only legendary gem I've got is the Boon of the Hoarder, which is obviously going to give us the toughness to allow us to play on something like T8, because if you're only rocking one ancient item, and you don't have any other damage reduction, you will get one shot on T8, obviously, because 4% damage reduction is not much. You know, so what you'd be looking to do is to find damage reducing items. So Golem Skin Breaches would give me 30% as a necro. Wisdom of Kalon would give me more bone armor stacks, which would give me more toughness. A Dainty's Binding would give me up to 50% toughness because I've got a curse on my bar. You know, a Unity, a follow with a Unity and a token that makes them invulnerable. Lornell's Sunstone for the necro. So basically anything to boost your toughness. You know, you'd probably take toughness legendary gems, so Esoteric Alteration, Molten Will the Beast Gizzard. You're looking to stack toughness because you're going to do loads of damage. But yeah, as I say, we'll show you that. Now, Paragon wise, I've taken everything but move speed out, so there is not one point of Paragon on this, just to show you how easy it is once you do get that one solitary ancient item and a couple of multipliers. You know, and it's not particularly hard. So we're on T8, and we'll just jump in and have a little bit of a play, just for a few minutes, just to show you, as I say, how easy it is. Now we're going to numlock the Devour, and then that's just going to basically devour corpses and let us cast as many of these mages as we want. So we're already up to 10 because of the Circle of Now Lose You Fall. You get some gold and you're invulnerable. So, you know, bearing in mind this is T8, you'll be able to get this up and running probably within a couple of hours of hitting 70. You know, these things are all very easy to get. The only thing you'd have to worry about is over spamming your mages and running out of your bone armor stacks. You know, and there's loads of ways to improve it. You know, you could find other items that will damage it. But you know, this is it. This is, you know, you get the idea. Just see how easy this is. You know, Torment 8 with just one ancient item. You know, I mean, you can make an argument I could be running Singularity instead of these mages. You know, so it's. I'll go over this in a Necro Starter Guide when I update it, because this is pretty much what I'm going to be doing on day one, I think, as soon as I've got my bits and bobs. But yeah, let's just go back to town and see you later, guys. Let's turn the lock off. So yeah, so obviously you could pick up extra bits. Convention of Elements would be another multiplier, as would Crispins for the Necro. So what you need to do, guys, is whatever class you're playing, if you're not happy with the instant set bonuses for 2 and 4 pieces, jump on the Legacy of Nightmares, get yourself some multipliers, get yourself some skills that get buffed by those multipliers, and away you go. And guys, do not worry about having 13 ancient items. You will be doing just fine. Bear in mind that every difficulty level, every torment, is kind of roughly double damage. So 5 GR levels is approximately double damage. It's not exactly that way. And also bear in mind that ancient items will have higher stats. So the more ancients you have, just the higher sheet damage will go. But yeah, please guys, don't worry. Don't think I've got to get my LON build up to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All the way up to 13 items. You can start rocking them very simply, very quickly, and you will use this to get your 6-piece bonus, and then depending on your RNG you might swap over, example, to an Arius, or you might carry on playing LON. It just depends, you know, how you feel and where you're up to. I think that was pretty much all that I wanted to say on the Legacy of Nightmares. So if you do have any questions about it, you know, hit them in the comments. The only other thing that's popped into my mind is you can only get ancient items from 70, so you know, unless they drop with reduced level requirements, you know, you're not going to end up you know, getting ancient items at level 50, 60, anything like that. So you know, again, makes getting to 70 as quickly as possible pretty useful. Now I'll link that guide onto how to use your materials to flesh out an LON build. That's pretty useful. Again, if you're a new player, it gives you a build to go through and where to spend your DBs, where to spend your blood shards, that type of thing. And I'll also link my Necromancer current starter guide, which we'll be adding to, and my Wizard starter guide as well. So there's a few bits and bobs. So yeah, as I say, guys, any questions, whack them in the comments. I've been the Filthy Casual. Come back and see me soon. Peace.